and the terrible, no good, very bad day. Have you ever had a terrible, no good, very bad day? Oh, I went to sleep with gum in my mouth. And now there is gum in my hair. And when I got out of bed this morning, I tripped on the skateboard by mistake and I dropped my sweater in the sink where the water was running. And I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At breakfast, Anthony found a Corvette Stingray car in his breakfast cereal box, and Nick found a junior undercover agent code ring in his breakfast cereal box. But in my breakfast cereal box, all I found was breakfast cereal. I think I'll move to Australia. Can you say that with me? Australia. That's a country way far away. Alexander is having such a horrible day that he wants to move very far away. Sometimes that happens, huh? In the carpool, Mrs. Gibson let Becky have a seat by the window. Audrey and Elliot got seats by the window. I said I was being scrunched. I said I was being smushed. I said if I don't get the seat by the window, I'm going to be car sick. No one even answered. I could tell today was going to be, are you ready? A terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. At school, Mrs. Dickens liked Paul's picture of the sailboat better than my picture of the invisible castle. At singing time, she said I was singing too loud. At counting time, she said I left out 16. Who needs 16? I could tell it was going to be a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. I could tell because Paul said I wasn't his best friend anymore. He said Philip Parker was his best friend and that Albert Moyo was his next best friend, and I was only his third best friend. I hope you sit on a tack, I said to Paul. Is that a very nice thing to say? I hope the next time you get a double-decker strawberry ice cream cone, the ice cream falls apart and part of the cone lands in Australia. Is that a nice way to talk to your friends? No. But you know what? He's having a bad day, and sometimes we all have bad days. There were 2 cupcakes in Philip Parker's lunch bag, and Albert got a Hershey bar with almonds, and Paul's mother gave him a piece of jelly roll that had little coconut sprinkles on the top. Guess whose mother forgot to put in dessert? It was a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That's what it was, because after school, guess what he had to do? He had to go to the dentist, and the doctor found a cavity just in me. I have to come back next week and I'll fix it, said Dr. Fields. Next week, I said, I'm going to Australia. Do you think he's really going to go to Australia next week? No, he's just kidding, isn't he? On the way downstairs, the elevator door closed on my foot. And while we were waiting for my mom to get the car, Anthony made me fall where it was muddy, and then I started crying because of the mud, and Nick said I was a crybaby. It's a really bad day, huh? Have you ever had a day that bad? Has anybody? Give me a thumbs up if you've ever had a day that bad. If you haven't, that's okay too. I don't know if I've ever had a day quite this bad. While I was punching Nick for saying crybaby, my mom came back to the car and scolded me for being muddy and fighting. I am having a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day, I told everybody. And guess what? Nobody even answered me. They didn't even care. That's what Alexandra thought. So then we went to the shoe store to buy some school sneakers, and Anthony chose white ones with blue stripes, and Nick chose red ones with white stripes, and I chose blue ones with red stripes. But then the shoe man said there were no more. They were all sold out. They made me buy plain old white ones, but they can't make me wear them. When we picked up my dad at his office, He said I couldn't play with the copy machine, but I forgot. He also said to watch out for the books on his desk, and I was careful as I could be, except for my elbow. Does your elbow ever get in the way sometimes? He said, don't fool around with his phone, but I think I called Australia. My dad said, please don't pick him up from work anymore. It's been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. There were lima beans for dinner. Does anybody here like lima beans? I actually like lima beans, yeah. But I don't think Alexander does. And I do not like lima beans. There was kissing on TV, and I do not like kissing. My bath was too hot. I got soap in my eyes. My marble went down the drain, and I had to wear my railroad train pajamas, and I do not like my railroad train pajamas. When I went to bed, Nick took the pillow he said I could keep and the Mickey Mouse nightlight burned out, and I bit my tongue. The cat wants to sleep with Anthony, not me. It's been a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And my mom said, some days are like that. Even in Australia. So Alexander had a bad day, but do you know what? The next day he gets to wake up and it's a brand new, fresh day. And can it be better? Yeah, he'll probably get the toy and his cereal, and he'll get to sit by the window and all of the fun things, right? Everybody has bad days, and that's okay.